The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Well, it's a battle of generations. It's a crusade to prove my time was better than your time, and this is anything but somebody out of their prime, but it's somebody who has an issue with today's stars. Marion Fontaine looks like he's from another time, another century, but he's from another era of Turner's Hall, because about a decade ago I watched him break in and have his first matches in this building. He comes back this past October. He says, man, this place has changed. It holds nothing compared to what I did in my rookie years, and he's called out all of the uprising stars we've seen since, including the likes of Alex Jordan and even our champion Andrew Palace. Another young athlete on the rise steps up to the plate here tonight. Shawn Phoenix, the Firebird, is full of energy, full of anticipation, and full of the proverbial P&V, because he watched Fontaine defeat Alex Jordan a month ago, and Phoenix feels responsible. Phoenix feels at fault, even though it wasn't his fault. He and Remy LeVay's ringside arguments turned into a distraction for young Alex, and as a result, Phoenix, who's still a little bit discombobulated, still has this worried about his partnership. He's worried about the matchup earlier. Jordan dropped a match to Nate Match, and you can tell Phoenix is not totally himself right now, but he's going to need to be on his game against Fontaine.
Absolutely. You don't go in half-cocked against Marion Fontaine. You know, the one thing Phoenix should have learned earlier is maybe Alex Jordan being out there isn't the best thing for him. You know, maybe he could have learned a lesson there. Maybe that knock to the head could have knocked some sense into him, but apparently not.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alex Jordan has been supportive of his friend for many months. Phoenix feels the same way. They want to be out here for each other, and I appreciate that. That's great friendship. That's something that's pretty rare in the world in this day and age, especially in professional wrestling. And it's the first time we've seen Phoenix in action on the Premier brand in quite a number of months. It's anniversary, I believe.
Well, Joe, there's nothing wrong with having friends. There's a lot of great teams. Abbott and Costello, Bert and Ernie, you and me. But with Shawn Phoenix, he's got to stay focused on Marion Fontaine. He can't be worried about his little buddy Alex Jordan and his feelings.
Well, I think Phoenix is worried about that because Phoenix and Jordan both have the same dream, and they want to realize that dream together. And also, Phoenix is worried about Remy LeVay. If every time you turned around, Remy LeVay was stalking you, you'd be worried too.
Well, I'd hopefully have a different pair of pants with me if that were the case. As I've said before, any members of the Culmination are dangerous.
Fontaine getting frustrated here. And a takedown by Phoenix. Phoenix is one of those young athletes that hadn't even come close to recognizing his full potential. And we've seen Alex Jordan have a pretty big burst of momentum in recent months. I think Phoenix is just as capable of doing the exact same thing. And knocking Marion Fontaine off his perch could be a very, very advantageous beginning to him there.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it. There's one thing I'll say about Shawn Phoenix, and that potential is limitless with this kid. Somebody that you and I have known for quite a while. I would expect him to take a little bit more of my advice, but be that as it may.
Look at Fontaine.
Now that was old school right there.
That was not very graceful, but it got a means to an end. And Phoenix, though, Fontaine a little too proud of his, let's say, agility and the receiving out of neck breaker.
Well, Joe, every generation thinks that their generation is better than the one currently there. And I think in Marion Fontaine's mind, and in my opinion, he's absolutely right. His generation in this building...
Suspenders just came off.
Well, now it means business. His generation just had some chutzpah to it. You talked about P and V earlier. Back in the day, they had lots of P and lots of V.
Fontaine is instructing the official to hold the ropes for him.
Well, Joe Manganiello needs to learn his place there.
Ooh.
There is.
Oh, Fontaine in the eyes.
What are you talking about? Watch the eyes of these folks because they're seeing a megastar.
Yeah, that's true. The eyes of the people, Joe. They're seeing a mega star with Marion Fontaine. And a snappy dresser, I might add.
What an ego. He hadn't changed since the first day he just completely lost it and snapped and started calling me out and just these tirades of interviews he would cut on me. And ever since then, Fontaine has just had a grudge against everybody. He feels that he's the greatest gift that he could give professional wrestling.
Joe, as you know very well, he's not above slapping people either. So Shawn Phoenix and referee and people on the other side of the guardrail, they'd be well versed to respect Mr. Fontaine.
Let's see.
I mean, we've seen him go toe-to-toe against the likes of Kevin Nash. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with his brief career here in Premier. He's not afraid to stick it to you. And he said some wonderful things about you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Some wonderfully accurate things.
Suplex, that's more like it. Cover for 2. Fontaine, former Prime Tag Team Champion. Had run-ins with a lot of established names there, from Kevin Nash to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Zach Gowen, among others.
And I think, as he told me, he single-handedly defeated them all.
Something like that.
On the point system. You know, Marion Fontaine sees Alex Jordan, he sees Shawn Phoenix as a stepping stone. He said he knows he has to climb the ladder, and he's willing to do that. And that's, I think, commendable for a man like Marion Fontaine. It's something the kids could learn. You got to pay your dues, you got to bust your butt, and you got to earn your victory.
Are you believing this bogus Fontaine, I'm going to climb the ladder speech? He would rather take down the ladder and shove it under the porch rather than actually deal with, Phoenix missing that charge in the corner, than deal with these young athletes. But Fontaine thinks that there's no ladder to climb. It's a step ladder at this point. Fontaine thinks he's so far above everybody already.
I didn't say how many rungs were on the ladder. I didn't even say where he would start on that ladder. I just said he's willing to climb it.
All right. Well, I mean,
for some guys it takes, 10, 20 victories, and for somebody the caliber of Marion Fontaine, he should just have one victory and right into the title picture.
Do you believe that Fontaine is better than this entire generation of premier athletes, from Phoenix to Jordan to Palace and anywhere in between?
I don't want to sound biased, but yes. I mean, the names you mentioned.
Phoenix are all up here. Traps the shoulders for 2.
If I'm going to talk my favorite wrestlers, Fontaine is still
look
there.
at Phoenix tie Fontaine up. Crucifix attempt. Can't trap the shoulders. No, Fontaine finds his way out.
That was a smart move by Shawn Phoenix to attempt to trap him up, but it just didn't work. That's that veteran instinct of Marion Fontaine, knowing you got to make sure those shoulders aren't on the mat.
And Phoenix is trying to do whatever he can here, because Fontaine has been in firm control.
Wonder if in the back of his mind he's thinking about Remy LeVay, maybe thinking about the culmination, thinking about anything that he's been experiencing these last couple of weeks.
Without a doubt, anytime Remy LeVay has been around, he's told Phoenix, hey, think about it. And he's had this whole sales pitch as Fontaine rocks the world of Phoenix for 2. I'll tell you what, it's something where I think Remy is trying to just psychologically immerse Shawn Phoenix and get Phoenix off this game and just convince Phoenix that Phoenix maybe belongs with the culmination or maybe doesn't belong here, or whatever the goal is. It's not for Phoenix to have peace of mind. I definitely believe Phoenix is not coming into this matchup 100% focused on Fontaine, and that's a lot of the issue.
Oh, Joe, there's certainly strength in numbers, and we heard what Gory said last month, that he needs more bodies, he needs more people. He wants to protect not only his championship, but he wants to protect the Cougars tag team championships here in Premier. And you said it yourself, Shawn Phoenix has a lot of potential. Imagine that potential under the tutelage of the culmination. You may not like it. It may scare the dickens out of me, but we've seen what it's done for people.
Without a doubt. Fontaine and Phoenix in precarious positions. Phoenix going to elevate. Fontaine, a super falcon arrow! Are you serious? Done? No.
That could have been it, Joe.
But Phoenix, I think, landed hard on his own tailbone. You could see having a tough time getting back to his feet.
We'll have to see if that plays a little bit further into an impressive maneuver. That's another thing with young kids. Some impressive maneuvers, but you want to make sure that the The punishment is squarely on your opponent and as little or minimal damage to yourself as possible.
The swing, and Phoenix comes back. Phoenix is firing away. He's got some momentum.
And Joe, let me ask you, what would it take for Marion Fontaine to catapult himself where he belongs to be?
Well, you win. That's what it comes down to. Wins and losses matter. As Phoenix showing some energy, but if you think you're better than everybody, get out there and prove it.
Well, Joe, he already got a win.
That's one win. There's more than one guy in his roster.
Well, that would be a very limited roster. If
No
that were the
kidding.
case.
You wouldn't mind. You'd be out of here a lot earlier. Phoenix with the enziguri.
You know, anytime I can leave the city of Cleveland Stinkville, I'm more than happy. That's what I call it, by the way.
K-Brada, Phoenix has it won. Oh, what? Where the hell did Remy come from?
Well, I think Alex Jordan on the far side jumped up on the apron and he had to counter.
No,
that.
Remy jumped on the apron, and Alex is trying to warn the official and warn Phoenix.
Well, I don't think Phoenix saw Remy at all.
No, I don't think he did, but he saw Jordan, and Phoenix had this match won. Phoenix went straight to Jordan, and they were bickering, and it's a kamikaze by Fontaine. Oh, it's another miscue, and it's all thanks to Remy LeVay as Fontaine pins Phoenix.
Here is your winner, Marion Fontaine.
Marion Fontaine the victory, but again, Remy LeVay, another mind game to Phoenix and Jordan, and again, trying to prove something. Was this sabotage? Was Remy trying to set up Jordan to be the cause of Phoenix's failure?
Well, whatever he was trying to do, it was certainly effective. As you mentioned earlier, Marion Fontaine has one win. Now he has two. And to coin a phrase from you, you might have to give the assist on both of those to Remy LeVay, unintentionally.
Yeah, but Remy's not helping Fontaine. Remy has his eyes locked onto Jordan and especially Phoenix. We'll see if Marion Fontaine's journey to the top continues, but Remy LeVay pleading innocence. Oh, it was all you. It was the 3 count. Remy is playing these guys like a proverbial fiddle. He's pulling the strings, and Jordan and Phoenix are left to figure out what the hell went on. And oh no, Phoenix is blaming Jordan on this.
Well, John Phoenix is done playing Joe Cool to this one.
I think Phoenix has just now seen Remy and realized. And I think Remy, is positioning himself as Phoenix's friend and saying, "What are you doing with Alex Jordan?" This guy continues to weave his web, does Remy.
Yo, this is a situation that's going to get worse before it gets better, I feel.
Hold on.
Shawn.
You suck, go back.
Shawn, your real family will always be with the culmination. And we are patiently waiting.
Well, there you have it. There's no speculation anymore. Remy LeVay's in Shawn Phoenix's head, and he wants Phoenix in the culmination, and badly.